Day 4 in Rome began before my alarm did. It was 5:20 a.m. and I didn't get up because I planned it, but because mom's phone rang. And funny thing is, this is the second time I have woken up to her call. And both times the night before was just too beautiful to even touch the alarm app. And I can't thank her enough for saving my days and me from the guilt of not waking up early enough. We packed our bags quickly, not because we were ready, but because time was moving on. While my partner checked the room one last time, I paused. Blue top, soft morning light, and a view too beautiful to say goodbye to. Our host kindly let us leave the bags behind just in case we came back late, as if Rome knew we weren't done yet. We placed the keys back, stepped into quiet streets, and took one last walk, letting Rome hold us just a little longer. We stepped out on foot, heading toward the gardens, and suddenly Rome showed us a different side of itself. Quiet streets, tropical looking houses, area full of greenery in the center of Rome. Maybe it's the river nearby, or maybe Rome just likes surprising you when you wake up early enough. And then something unexpected happened. We noticed people standing near a door, leaning in, looking through something, and instantly it clicked. Aventine keyhole. It aligns perfectly with the garden path framing St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. I tried really hard to capture the view through that tiny keyhole, and honestly, I think this place deserves a professional camera, a lens that understands how magical that tiny hole really is. But even without the perfect shot, the view, the symmetry, the buildings around, completely worth it. Some places aren't meant to be captured, they're meant to be remembered. From there, we wandered toward Giardino di Sant Ignazio, Giardino degli Aranci, and views stretching toward the basilica, with a little bit of ripa sneaking in too. We refilled our water bottles, took photos, and soaked in the views. And that's when I noticed something very important. You can clearly see the difference between the pictures I click and the ones he takes of me. Jokes apart, he's upgrading his camera skills. He's learning the angles he never knew just because my smile lives there. And yes, just like I mentioned in my Rome Day 2 vlog, somehow the Victor Emmanuel's monument finds you everywhere in Rome, and you can see it from here as well. We weren't even sure if we found the exact garden spot marked on the map, but sometimes maps don't matter because what we found was beautiful anyway. Between the gardens and a quiet residential area, we found the spot. River flowing just a few steps away, Roman Forum peeking through the trees, and early morning sunlight doing its soft magic. No rush, no posing, just standing there, letting the view sink in. Those are the moments that never make it to Instagram captions, but stay forever. Later, we hopped on a bus and finally I captured the mini Colosseum, the one we had been seeing since day one, the one that confused us every time. Is that the Colosseum? No, wait, maybe. Mystery solved. Captured, peace achieved. When we were walking from the gardens towards the next destination today, we realized that the bus was coming in 7 minutes, which of course means we ran, because Rome trips are powered by espresso and last minute cardio. We reached Sant Ignazio at 8:55 am, 5 minutes early before it opens. The only reason to come this early was that famous mirror view. And guess what? Even on our third attempt, there was already a lineup before the church even opened. Rome is patient but also very popular. We stood in line calmly, only to realize that the mirror works with the machine, and the machine needs a coin, and we didn't have exact change. I gathered a little courage and asked the girl ahead of us if they could help us with the exact change for €2, and they did. Moments like this remind you travel isn't just about places, it's about people who make the journey lighter. Day 4 didn't give us everything we planned, but it gave us early mornings, unexpected discoveries, shared laughter, and views that didn't ask to be photographed. And honestly, that's the kind of Rome I will always remember. It was finally our turn, just one person left before us at the camera. I got everything ready, my partner dropped the coin right on time, and I started filming, or so I thought. That's when my partner said, "Wait, the video isn't recording." My heart dropped. I panicked. I hadn't even pressed record. Somehow, within seconds, I managed to turn it on. Huge thanks to my partner. We didn't capture it the way I imagined, but we did capture the moment, and that alone made it unforgettable. I wanted to try again, but we felt too shy about putting another coin as the line was waiting behind us. Hesitation won over action, and I was left with a tiny bit of disappointment for missing that perfect reveal. Still, I want to tell you this. Entry to Sant Ignazio is completely free. Don't confuse the mirror line with the church entry line. If you are there just to experience the beauty of the church, there's no waiting at all. The mirror activation costs only €1. We stepped out of a narrow alley and made a small pause at a snack shop on the corner. While my partner stood there carefully deciding what he wanted, I drifted toward a shelf full of tiny fridge magnets. They were cute, the kind you buy thinking you will remember a place forever. I thought I will find something better later. I didn't buy one. And by the end of the trip, that tiny decision turned into a quiet regret, waiting for something special and missing it when it was right there. travel teaches you that lesson often. After that, we decided to relive a classic Italian breakfast one last time by the Trevi Fountain, a pistachio croissant and a cappuccino, something we both didn't want to say goodbye to. We sat there quietly. I filmed myself enjoying one of Rome's famous, delicious, and surprisingly filling croissants. Checkout was at 11 a.m. We took our favorite bus 83 from Corso, went back to our Rome home, packed our bags, and reflected on how perfect the location had been. One bus stop right outside, multiple connections nearby, easy access to the airport train, and another station that links straight to the Italo terminal. Convenient, simple, and full of memories. He had already figured out which station we needed, which train to catch, which platform to stand on, while I was busy saving places on my phone. He was focused on making sure we didn't miss where we needed to be. And for the first time in a long while, I let him hold my tickets. It sounds simple, but after being on my own for so long, taking care of my own things, being responsible for my luggage, for my tickets while traveling, and being clumsy, this small act of trust felt bigger than I expected. When we reached Termini, confusion took over. Crowds, signs, announcements, everything moving faster than our thoughts. And right in the middle of it all, a tiny puppy appeared, almost as if he was saying, "Don't panic, just keep going." So we did. We followed our instincts, asked questions, trusted the process, and finally found the right platform. Too right, actually. We were more than an hour early, thanks to my partner, because I have never been more than 30 minutes early to anything in my life. We found our cabin, secured our bags, and that's when we noticed someone else was sitting in our assigned seats. My partner tried explaining calmly, patiently, but language stood between understanding and frustration. Later, fellow travelers told us it was happening everywhere on the train. Since it wasn't full, we let it go. Sometimes peace is more valuable than being right. The Italo train experience turned out to be the smoothest we had in all of Italy. Watching the screen display speeds crossing 200 kilometers per hour felt unreal. While part of my mind admired the technology, another part wandered into overthinking. How do they keep the animals off tracks, moving this fast? And somewhere between the thoughts and scenery, I searched the horizon for Mount Vesuvius. But before I could capture it, we arrived in Napoli. Green landscapes, small towns, quiet beauty, and suddenly we were there, stepping into what I imagined to be the real Italy. took a few pictures inside the station and decided to walk. Our Airbnb wasn't far. The first thing I did was drinking water and refilling our water bottles. The next was dragging our suitcases over uneven stone sidewalks. A sound that now feels like a travel memory on its own. Inside the building, we met a group from the Philippines. They looked just as lost as we were, so we helped them find their rooms. So, something about this Airbnb. The apartment itself was slightly bigger than our last day. My partner went for a quick nap, and I chose to freshen up. And that's when I heard something uncomfortable, some inappropriate sounds from a neighboring room. My body stiffened. I felt embarrassed even telling him what I heard, unsure, shy, unsettled. We discussed whether we should leave or stay. Changing places last minute in a tourist city isn't easy or cheap. Confusion followed us as we stepped out for an evening walk. Seeing the same group leave around the same time oddly comforted me. At last, we weren't behind schedule. At last, we hadn't wasted the day. But then I made a small mistake. I turned right, they turned left. And that right turn changed the entire mood of the evening. We did stop for a quick refreshment and a quick stop at a shop for a charging cable turned into a conversation I didn't need. We were told the area we chose wasn't ideal. Shady, they said. My heartbeat picked up again. They reassured us just be careful with your bags, which honestly applies to every tourist destination and sometimes to our hometowns as well. But my nervous system was already triggered. We walked past local squares, children playing, people sitting, life unfolding naturally, yet somehow we felt visible, like outsiders. That awareness of being watched while also watching made my anxiety louder. As we moved toward the Spanish quarters and the coastal side, we passed castle-like walls and old gates. We paused for photos. Porta Capuana. The atmosphere reminded me of western downtowns, minus the drug chaos, but with the same raw edges. And maybe my first experience at the Airbnb was still shaping how I perceived everything. Another stop, bathroom supplies and detergent we later realized we didn't even need. The shopkeeper's energy towards Naples, though, made me more uneasy than expected. Locals moved with purpose, errands, conversations, daily life. They weren't concerned with us, and that realization slowly grounded me. Someone later told me during a trip that Naples is strange at first, but then it grows on you. I wish I had understood that sooner. While my partner attended a work call, a child nearby fell hard. His mother and grandmother panicked. Voices rose. His father tried to create a space so he could breathe. Watching this, I later realized that it was not Naples. It was the Airbnb incident, to the shoppers talking negative about Naples to us, and then what I saw here, that it felt more chaotic and overwhelming. Though honestly, parts of India are no different and sometimes more intense. Perspective matters. Still filming, still clicking photos, we suddenly realized we were on Via Toledo. Tourists appeared, official buildings, security, bright alleys, laughter, movement. And just like that, relief. My body finally relaxed. Napoli wasn't unsafe, it was unapologetically alive. It doesn't try to impress you, it simply exists. Loud, colorful, expressive. Honking streets, vibrant buildings, unfiltered energy. After Rome, it is the second place in Italy that will be chaotic with honking, with Vespas going beside you on full speed and surprising you with its own unique beauty. I wouldn't recommend staying where we did. It was the left of the station within walking distance, but the city itself, it's honest. Every alley branching off via Toledo offered something different: textures, shades, stories. I stood still when I saw the hand painted Maradona portrait. Magnetic, emotional, almost spiritual. The colors here aren't painted for tourists. They come from time, salt air, and lived in walls. Every building leans with a story. Every crack holds art older than perfection. This city isn't polished, it's real. Baroque churches beside laundry lines, Roman streets under your feet, life layered, not curated. Napoli's architecture doesn't whisper history, it breathes it. Greek roots, Roman bones, Spanish balconies, nothing erased, everything kept. This is how people actually lived: simple meals, narrow homes, sea facing lives. Even Napoleon ruled here briefly, but Napoli never belonged to kings, it belonged to its people. The smell of seafood filled the air, people gathered on corners, music floated between walls. The city had completely flipped the narrative in my head. Even without makeup, I posed for photos. Some places don't allow you to pass without capturing them. Affordable shopping everywhere. Corduroy outfits caught my eye. Beautiful, but pricier than expected. Winter was approaching. We worried about warmth, but exhaustion won that day. We window shopped instead. Day 4 in Italy, our feet finally adjusted to walking everywhere. We bought cushion soles for him, temporary comfort for long days ahead. As dusk settled, we didn't even realize how far we had walked. The streets, animated, glowing, spirited, kept pulling us forward. Naples surprised me with its furry residents too. Dogs everywhere, including my favorite, pit bulls, radiating warmth and friendliness. We reached Galleria Umberto I, clicked a few photos, and then headed toward what Naples is truly famous for. But I will keep the suspense. On our way back, coastal views peeked between buildings. Castle Nuovo, cruise ships preparing to sail. It felt cinematic. This is another version of India. When the sun sets, the coast comes alive. Lights reflect on the water, music spills from cafes. Nightlife isn't loud, it's warm, human, coastal. Italy, to me, felt like another version of India. The weather, the convenience, the liveliness. Maybe even a better balance. Asian energy with European structure. Something the West often lacks. After a 35-minute walk, we arrived. La Antica Pizzeria da Michele, where pizza was born. The confusion with lines, tokens, orders, all part of the experience. No long wait, it was almost 11 pm. Firewood flames, simple ingredients, and pure tradition. While waiting, I practiced framing shots, quietly improving a skill I love. And then, pizza. We chose to eat outside. I don't eat where I sleep while traveling. It's my little ritual. A peaceful sidewalk, warm boxes, fresh bites. For the first time in Italy, I couldn't finish my meal. My partner helped without hesitation. We walked back, anxiety returning with the late hour, trusting instincts, watching surroundings. And there it was, a cute glass water bottle with pizzeria's name on it. A souvenir I didn't plan but needed. If this vlog made you feel something, if you smiled, related, or stayed till the end, I would truly appreciate your support. Even 2 new subscribers feel like a million to me. Thank you, Grazie, for watching. By the time we reached the room, exhaustion finally won. And until the next vlog, keep loving yourself and keep choosing what makes you feel alive. Ciao.